nightly business report.
Good evening. Tonight, the Energy Ministry estimates that the entire power demand for 2025 will be 17,553 gigawatt hours, while the Ceylon Electricity Board expects that the average generating cost will stay below 24 rupees per unit. Despite its previous departure, the Adani Group is still interested in Sri Lanka's $1 billion renewable energy project, and tariff negotiations are still ongoing. Both the S&P SL20 and the All Share Price Index fell as the Colombo Stock Exchange closed down today. With cautious investor attitude, the market maintains its downward pace from yesterday. And after the Nasdaq and S&P 500 sank for 4 consecutive weeks, investors sought deals and US equities rose for a second straight session.
From Studio 24, here's Anuradhi Vikramasinghe.
A very good evening and thank you for joining us. The Ceylon Electricity Board projects the average generation cost for 2025 to remain below 24 rupees per unit, with the total power requirement for the year estimated at 17,553 gigawatt hours, according to the Energy Ministry.
The Ceylon Electricity Board has projected the average direct generation cost for this year to be 23 rupees and 76 cents per unit, totaling to 417.06 billion rupees, as revealed in a document presented by the Energy Minister Kumara Jayakodi. The highest contribution to this cost is expected from thermal coal, providing 5,591 gigawatt hours at a unit cost of 24 rupees and 05 cents, accounting for 32% of the energy mix. Hydropower will follow with a unit cost of 2 rupees and 92 cents. Thermal oil will provide 2,195 gigawatt hours, but at a higher generation cost of 52 rupees and 65 cents per unit. The CEB has also outlined a new long-term generation plan for 2025-2044, aiming to add 3,534 megawatts, with the largest share coming from solar power, 1,434 megawatts from grid-connected solar, and 1,045 megawatts from rooftop solar. Construction of the 120 megawatt Sampur solar power plant is set to begin in April, alongside with the 50 megawatt Mana wind power project. The CEB has signed an agreement with India's NTPC for the Sampur project, which will be developed in 2 phases. The contract for the Mana wind power project has been awarded to Haley's Fentons following an open international competitive bidding process.
President Anura Kumar Dissanayake stressed the importance of enhancing infrastructure and services for tourists visiting Sri Lanka, recognizing the country's growing international appeal. During a meeting at the Presidential Secretariat yesterday, he instructed officials to prioritize this issue and take necessary actions. The discussion included a briefing on budgetary allocations for the Ministry of Tourism and ongoing projects funded by these resources. As Sri Lanka aims to attract 3 million tourists this year, the focus was on using these funds to develop critical infrastructure. Minister of Foreign Affairs, Tourism and Foreign Employment Vijitha Herath, along with other senior officials, attended the meeting to discuss these developments. The President's instructions aim to further strengthen the tourism sector and support its growth. The Adani Group remains interested in Sri Lanka's $1 billion renewable energy project despite earlier withdrawal, with tariff talks ongoing. The project aims to boost Sri Lanka's renewable energy capacity and attract significant investment.
The Adani Group remains interested in Sri Lanka's $1 billion renewable energy project, with ongoing tariff negotiations expected to result in a mutually agreeable rate. A tentative rate of around 7 cents per kilowatt hour has been suggested, lower than the original 8.26 cents, with the Sri Lankan seeking 5 to 6 cents per kilowatt hour. Sources indicated that the work on the project could begin as early as June, provided all necessary paperwork is completed. The Indian government is reportedly in favour of the project, viewing it as a strategic investment in the country. Discussions between Adani Green and Sri Lankan officials, including the Ceylon Electricity Board, had previously stalled over tariff issues for the 484 megawatt renewable energy wind farms at Mena and Punareen. Despite initial setbacks, Adani Green has already spent $5 million on pre-development activities and has kept the door open for future collaboration with Sri Lanka. Most of the necessary regulatory approvals for the project have been secured, with environmental approval for Mena still pending.
Sri Lanka's agricultural sector is facing significant challenges, with key crops like paddy, tea and coconut experiencing sharp declines in production. Paddy production is expected to decrease by 5.77% for the 2024 to 2025 Maha season, leading the rice price inflation and shortages at retail outlets. Despite government interventions such as rice imports and price controls, the supply remains tight. Tea production grew in December and January but fell by 22% 30% in February of this year, causing a drop in auction prices. Coconut production has also dropped by over 30%, driving prices up to nearly 200 rupees per nut. Meanwhile, global coffee and cocoa prices surged due to supply chain disruptions caused by extreme weather, with coffee prices increasing by around 40% and cocoa prices rising 30% in December of last year. Sri Lanka's Matala Rajapaksa International Airport marks its 12th anniversary today but continues to face financial losses and low airline traffic, prompting renewed calls for a strategic overhaul.
Matala Rajapaksa International Airport opened on the 18th of March 2013 as Sri Lanka's second international gateway has struggled with low passenger demand and financial losses. Despite its modern infrastructure, major airlines have pulled out due to the minimal traffic. Former Civil Aviation Authority Chairman Upul Dharmadasa believes the airport still has potential if repositioned effectively, suggesting it could become a maintenance and cargo hub. Efforts to revive the airport have included discussions on a potential management takeover. However, the National Audit Office revealed that $247.7 million spent on its construction has not been effectively utilized. In 2023, MRIA posted an operating loss of 2.12 billion rupees with a revenue of only 288 million rupees. With a design capacity for 1 million passengers annually, MRIA processed just 190,750 passengers over the past 6 years, accumulating a net loss of 38.49 billion rupees. The airport's underperformance has sparked renewed calls for strategic overhaul to unlock its potential.
Let's take a short break now. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. The Colombo Stock Exchange ended lower today with both the All-Share Price Index and S&P SL20 indices declining. The market continued its negative momentum from yesterday with cautious investor sentiment. Trading volume was moderate, with some stocks showing resilience despite the overall downturn. For further insights on this, we speak with Manusha Kandanara, Chief from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Anuradhi. Continuing from the previous day, the Colombo Bourse experienced a continuously red session with slight hints of volatility driven by increased selling pressure. The all-share price index registered a 255-point drop, closing at 15,394. Selling Coinsurance, Commercial Bank, HNB Bank, NDB Bank and John Keel's Holdings emerged as the top negative contributors to the index. Both high net worth and retail investors remained moderately active as increased crossings and trades were reported relative to the previous session as well. Banking sector counters were the primary contributors to today's overall decline. Turnover stood at 1.8 billion rupees, marking a 33.5% decrease from the monthly average of 2.7 billion rupees. The banking sector was the most significant contributor to the overall turnover with a 24% share, followed by capital goods and food, beverage and tobacco sectors jointly contributing 41% of the overall turnover. Meanwhile, top 3 losers of the day were SMB Finance non-voting, SPH and SMB Finance voting. And top 3 gainers of the day were Browns Beach Hotels, HNB Finance and Malvatta Plantations. Thank you.
Sri Lanka's manufacturing PMI rose to 56.8 in February 2025, indicating continued expansion driven by growth in new orders, production, employment and stock purchases. This growth is mainly attributed to the food and beverage sector preparing for the upcoming festive season. For further insights, we speak with Ranjan Ranatunga from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Anuradhi. The Sri Lanka Purchasing Managers Index, or the PMI, for February 25 signaled and continued expansion in both manufacturing and service PMI, underpinned by festive season demand. The manufacturing PMI came in at 56.8, marking a sustained recovery through slower pace compared to January. The food and beverage sector were the biggest key drivers as firms ramped up production and new orders ahead of the festive season demand. Employment levels as well as stock purchases increased indicating readiness to cater to that demand. However, supply delivery times also lengthened, suggesting supply chain pressure. Globally, manufacturing trends are mixed, with India and China showing expansion while Eurozone experienced a contraction. Notably, the US as well as China recorded higher rates of growth, highlighting the diverging regional momentum. On the service PMI stood at 56.5, indicating moderate expansion. Financial services led this growth, buoyed by increased lending. Wholesale, retail, as well as education and tourism like accommodation and food and beverage also saw a pickup. Employment services also rose in this sector, while business expectations to the next 3 months are highly optimistic due to the upcoming festival season. Thank you.
Gold prices hit a record high today amid escalating geopolitical tensions in the Middle East, particularly the breach of the Israel-Hamas ceasefire. Spot gold rose 0.2% to reach $3,008.56 per ounce, while gold futures for May hit $3,017.50 an ounce. This surge was driven by increased safe haven demands as investors sought refuge amid growing uncertainty. The unrest in the Middle East added to concerns about U.S. President Donald Trump's trade tariffs and a slowing U.S. economy. Market participants are also anticipating key central bank meetings later this week, which contributed to a flight to safer assets like gold. The uncertainty surrounding global geopolitical and economic factors has solidified gold's appeal among investors. Oil prices extended gains in Asian trading today following Israel's airstrikes across Gaza, reportedly breaching a ceasefire after stalled hostage negotiations. Brent crude futures for May rose 0.4% to $71.32 per barrel, while West Texas Intermediate crude futures also gained 0.4%, reaching $67.61 per barrel. Despite the uptick, oil struggled to post significant gains as investors remained cautious ahead of the Federal Reserve's policy meeting later in the day. Both contracts ended nearly 0.7% higher yesterday, supported by rising geopolitical tensions in the Red Sea and optimism over China's plans to boost consumption. Market participants remain focused on global political risks and economic indicators for future price direction. The Sri Lankan rupee has strengthened against the US dollar at commercial banks today, showing an improvement compared to yesterday. According to the commercial bank, both the buying and selling rates of the US dollar have seen a decrease. Let's take a closer look at how the Sri Lankan rupee is performing against other major global currencies. Short break now. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back. Former Civil Aviation Authority Chairman Uppal Dharmadasa suggested that Sri Lankan Airlines could generate $1 billion in revenue within 3 months with the right leadership and policies in place.
Former Civil Aviation Authority Chairman Uppal Dharmadasa proposed a strategy to revive Sri Lankan Airlines, suggesting that the barrier could generate over $1 billion in revenue within 3 months. He emphasized the need for skilled professionals, the expansion of international routes, and digital innovations to boost efficiency. Dharmadasa recommended operating flights to underserved destinations, particularly targeting the global Sri Lankan diaspora in North America and the Caribbean. He also proposed a Miami-Colombo route to serve expats and tourists. Additionally, Dharmadasa urged the government to implement a policy similar to the US Fly America Act, requiring government officials to prioritize Sri Lankan Airlines for official travel. He also called for a transition to new distribution capability to modernize sales channels and reduce costs. Dharmadasa highlighted policy consistency as a key factor for long-term success and criticized the granting of fifth freedom rights to foreign airlines that cost Sri Lankan Airlines millions.
Commercial Bank of Ceylon has launched CommBank TradeLink, a digital platform designed to streamline trade finance for Sri Lanka's importers and exporters. The platform provides a seamless, user-friendly interface, offering end-to-end solutions to simplify trade finance transactions. It offers 24/7 real-time access to trade finance products such as import letters of credit, shipping guarantees, and export collection documents. Features include real-time status updates, secure workflows, and improved document management, enhancing efficiency and compliance. Commercial Bank Managing Director and CEO Sanat Manatunga highlighted that the platform is a digital evolution of the bank's long-standing commitment to trade finance. The initiative builds on the success of the bank's trade club, further strengthening its position as a leader in the sector. US restaurant chain Hard Rock Cafe has partnered with Adani to make its debut in Sri Lanka, marking a major milestone for Sri Lanka's dining scene. Adani's Group Head of Investment Supun Pereira announced plans for Hard Rock Cafe's debut in Sri Lanka, with the venue set to open at Colombo City Centre by the second half of 2025. The deal was finalised after Adani was shortlisted, outpacing other locations such as One Golf Face Mall and Havelock City Mall. Hard Rock Cafe's official website confirmed the opening, though the exact month remains unannounced. The restaurant will bring its signature concept of live music, liquor, and a vibrant atmosphere to Sri Lanka, providing a fresh dining experience for locals and tourists alike. Pereira stated that finalizing the investment amount is dependent on architectural designs and a bill of quantities expected within the next 2 weeks. The franchise aims to cater to diverse customer bases with a mix of local and foreign patrons in mind. Hard Rock Cafe will join other US-based fast food brands in Colombo, including Pizza Hut, KFC, and Burger King. On World Recycling Day, Fonterra Brands Lanka, through its flagship brand Anchor, highlighted its commitment to sustainability by showcasing its recycling initiatives. In collaboration with Eco Maximus and Phoenix Industries, Anchor has repurposed brown craft paper used for milk powder shipments to create exercise books for school children. The first batch of over 10,000 exercise books benefiting 5,000 children across Sri Lanka was distributed late last year, with more planned for this year and beyond. Anchor has also partnered with Phoenix Industries to produce durable school furniture, reducing plastic waste while improving learning environments. Additionally, the brand refurbished 9 public spaces, including schools and hospitals, to enhance community infrastructure. Anchor's sustainability efforts continue to demonstrate how businesses can transform waste into value while contributing to a better future. ALFT Packaging hosted a 3-day masterclass in Colombo exploring innovative, flexible packaging solutions in partnership with Miraclon for Sri Lanka's top consumer goods manufacturers. ALFT Packaging hosted a successful 3-day masterclass in Colombo featuring experts like Steve Smith and Hirsch Lola to explore the future of flexible packaging. The event attracted leading Sri Lankan companies such as Nestle, Unilever, and Haley's PLC, covering sectors like food and beverage, personal care, and consumer goods. Lakshman D. Fonseca, the chairman of ALFT Packaging, emphasized the company's commitment to driving flexible packaging excellence in Sri Lanka, enabling local brands to compete globally. The masterclass provided valuable insights into packaging innovation, technology, and sustainability, reinforcing packaging as a strategic element of business growth. Participants engaged in interactive sessions discussing global trends, print processes, and the potential of flexible packaging to enhance sustainability and cost efficiency. ALFT's collaboration with global leaders aims to elevate Sri Lanka's packaging industry and equip local brands with competitive strategies. The event marked a significant step in reshaping the future of packaging for Sri Lankan businesses. Delmage has announced a strategic franchise partnership with Hetish, a globally renowned brand specializing in premium furniture, hardware, kitchen appliances, and door hardware. This collaboration aims to introduce cutting-edge German-engineered solutions to the Sri Lankan market, catering to both residential and commercial needs. Hetish's product range, known for precision, innovation, and durability, will be available through Delmage's extensive distribution network across Sri Lanka. Amrit Aditi, Director of Strategic Business Development at Delmage Forsyth, expressed excitement about partnering with Hetish to offer high-quality products to discerning customers. Ms. Dinusha Bhaskaran, Managing Director of Valuable One Delmage Limited, emphasized that the partnership will enhance the functionality and aesthetics of their interior solutions. Heritage's advanced furniture hardware, kitchen appliances and door fittings are expected to strengthen Delmage's offerings in the interior decor sector. Let's take a short commercial break. Global business updates coming on the other side. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Most Asian stocks rose today, driven by optimism over Chinese stimulus and growing confidence in AI capabilities. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index led the gains, rallying nearly 2% to reach three-year highs, boosted by buying into tech stocks. Japan's stock market also saw strong gains, with trading houses benefiting from Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway increasing its holdings. The Nikkei 225 surged 1.6% and the Topix Index rose by 1.5%. Other Asian markets performed well, with South Korea's Kospi adding 0.3% and Singapore's Straits Times Index gaining 0.9%. India's Nifty 50 Index futures pointed to a positive open following regional trends. Analysts are hopeful the momentum will continue as global economic conditions stabilize. U.S. stocks rallied for a second straight session as investors sought bargains after the Nasdaq and S&P 500 fell for 4 straight weeks.
U.S. stocks rallied for a second straight session on Monday, with the Dow gaining more than 0.8%, the S&P 500 adding more than 0.6%, and the Nasdaq climbing 0.3%. Investors sought bargains after the Nasdaq and S&P 500 fell for 4 straight weeks. The Federal Reserve is widely expected to keep rates unchanged at the conclusion of its 2-day policy meeting on Wednesday, according to CME's FedWatch tool. The central bank will also announce economic projections, giving the most tangible evidence yet of how its policymakers view the likely impact of President Trump's policies that have clouded a previously solid economic outlook. Stocks on the move Monday included Tesla, which stumbled almost 5% after brokerage Mizuho lowered its price target on the EV maker's stock, which is down more than 40% for the year. Shares of quantum computing stocks D-Wave Quantum and Quantum Corp spiked as NVIDIA kicked off its annual conference, where investors hoped the AI chip giant would breathe some life back into the beaten-down sector with new announcements. And shares of Intel surged almost 7% after Reuters reported incoming CEO Lip-Bu Tan has considered significant changes to its chip manufacturing methods and AI strategies.
Intel's incoming CEO Lip-Bu Tan is reportedly considering significant changes to its chip manufacturing methods and artificial intelligence strategies.
Intel's incoming CEO Lip-Bu Tan is reportedly considering significant changes to its chip manufacturing methods and artificial intelligence strategies. That's according to 2 people familiar with the matter. It comes ahead of his return to the company on Tuesday in a sweeping bid to revive the ailing tech giant. The new trajectory includes restructuring the company's approach to AI, as well as staff cuts to address what Tan views as a slow-moving and bloated middle management layer. The sources added that one of his core priorities would be revamping the company's manufacturing operations. According to 2 other people briefed on the matter, at a town hall meeting following his appointment as CEO last week, Tan told employees that the company will need to make tough decisions. Tan is former CEO of chip design software firm Cadence. He was a member of Intel's board until he resigned last August. In returning at the helm, Tan is set to take over the American icon after a decade of multiple CEOs, in which it failed to build chips for smartphones. It also missed surging demand for AI processors. That allowed rivals ARM and NVIDIA to dominate those markets. Intel reported an annual loss of $19 billion last year, its first since 1986.
Well, that's all from us on the Nightly Business Report for today. We'll see you again tomorrow with the latest updates across the business globe. Till then, I'm Anuradhi Vikramasinghe. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good night.